Hey gents, Handy Nasty here, flying IL2 Battle of Stalingrad, and today I wanted to give some commentary on a dogfight I did recently. Some major mistakes were made in this dogfight, which I think make it interesting to look at. I wanted to give an explanation for why those mistakes happened and how they could have been avoided in my opinion. The goal of this video is that you or I will hopefully avoid doing the same mistakes in similar circumstances in the future, and also just showcasing an intense fight. So, we are on the Koban map at around 1.5k altitude in the LA5 FN. I'm looking around for targets when I spot an allied P-39 getting tailed by two 109s and I decide to go help him. I also type a warning in the chat and luckily the P-39 evades. Both of the 109s decide to go vertical. I keep looking around because I presume there are some German fighters in the vicinity, and indeed I see a 109 or a 190 in my far 6 o'clock. He's not a direct threat, so I decide to proceed with my attack on the highest 109. I keep on checking my 6 o'clock though, which actually makes me lose my target in front of me for a few seconds. I reacquire sight on the 109 in my 9 o'clock, and I also see my pursuer breaking off, so I decide to continue with my attack. Meanwhile, the other 109 positioned himself on the tail of the P-39 and proceeds to blow his wing off. I decide to switch targets as I presume I haven't been spotted yet, and I suppose this 109 is going to climb to get back some energy and will thus present an easy shot. I line him up, but the moment I want to shoot I get spotted and the 109 does some negative G rolls, really throwing off my aim. I spray around, but my shots don't deal any critical damage and I notice only too late that I'm going to overshoot my target. I want to stay behind the 109 and so I cut throttle, deploy flaps and do wide rolls to stay behind him. But I misjudge badly and stay in front of his guns, and at one point he could have easily hit me. The first 109 also joins the party, clearly having more energy than me. I'm pausing the video here to analyze my overshooting, which is the major mistake in this first part of the fight. First thing is I wrongly judge our respective energy states. I am actually way faster than I think, and there is no way for me to stay behind the 109 for more than a few seconds. Having the speed advantage isn't a bad thing of course, but my mistake here is to bleed off energy to stay behind my target. I not only end up in front of him because I was too fast initially, I also lost a good amount of energy in the process. This means that I set myself up to be under attack by the first 109. So even if I shoot down my target, which I didn't, I end up in a non-favorable position. So what I should have done to play it safely is to realize that I would probably not get a kill, keep my speed up and get away from the fight after I missed my shots. This is it for my biggest mistake of this fight. Okay, let's move on with the fight. I have a 109 on my 6 o'clock, which clearly has a speed advantage, so I decide to make him overshoot by initiating rolling maneuvers. At the speed we're going at, the LA5FN is more nimble than the 109, so staying out of his gun sight is doable, and the gap between us is closing fast. I proceed to do a barrel roll, on top of which I pull a negative G, which makes his shots miss me by a close margin. The 109 is still being very aggressive towards me, and I turn to the right to avoid his line of fire, and then proceed to do another barrel roll. This time, when the 109 tries to get a shot on me, he pulls too hard and stalls his plane in the process, and while he tries to get his plane back under control, I manage to get on his tail. So, I'm pausing the video again to analyze the mistakes this 109 did from my point of view. So, I don't think I can get away in a straight line, so I start going evasive and start losing speed to make him overshoot, but I don't think the 109 reads my intentions in time. And so he keeps a high throttle, a high speed, and so eventually he's going to overshoot in case he doesn't shoot me down. This is again not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, he will still have the energy advantage, but his mistake then is to press on with the attack without letting the gap between us increase a bit. So he's a little bit too close to me, he's not in a comfortable position, and his next firing window is actually too small to have a good chance of hitting me. So what should the 109 have done in this case? Well, in my opinion, he should have throttled back. When he saw me start my evasive rolls, he should have throttled back and do not let the gap between us close. He should have stayed at like a comfortable 100 meters distance and he could have shot me down easily from that position. Well, he could also keep his throttle up like he did, and eventually overshoot in case he didn't shoot me down, which he didn't. And then, after his overshooting, he should go vertical, let the gap increase a bit, and then resume his attack again, trading speed for altitude again. Back to the fight now. The 109 behind me missed me, and I know I have a few seconds where I can deal with the 109 in front of me. Despite a very wobbly aim, I managed to score a hit in the engine compartment as his evasive maneuvers are rather lazy. I don't spot his teammate behind me and decide to go for the kill, but I miss my shots and the teammate is actually on my hot 6 o'clock. In his eagerness to save his teammate, he comes in rather fast and 2 barrel rolls later he is in front of me. So this second 109 actually made the same mistake as the first one. So he tried to keep his throttle high and follow me my maneuvers, which is what you shouldn't do. So either throttle back and follow the maneuvers or throttle high and go vertical after a pass. Now I admit that against the IL5FN you don't have much leeway to make a mistake, and if you end up in front of the guns you cannot run away, like what the 109 is trying to do. I'm going to catch up anyway, and I'm going to shoot him down. This flight was made in patch 3.005, and as I'm recording this we are on patch 3.006, and in the current iteration you can see whether a plane is at high throttle or low throttle, based on the presence or absence of a slight trail of black smoke coming from the engine. It should be easier now to anticipate when a plane in front of you is trying to make you overshoot, and I hope that if you're in such a position, you'll either throttle back to follow his maneuvers or throttle up and go vertical if you happen to eventually overshoot. But as this video showed you, you should definitely not try to follow the maneuvers while keep the throttle slammed forward. And this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and see you in the skies.